So we're recording. Bye, guys. This is Madhav.
Rahul, this is.
Sale mera copy mara. Not Rahul. You said it like Yoda. You didn't say it in reverse.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean,
You said Rahul. This is.
see,
So
Yoda's.
then reverse that is this Rahul? Now you're getting philosophical, bro.
No, but see, here's the thing Yoda speaks in reverse, but it makes sense, just like
He
Tenet.
doesn't speak in reverse. He speaks in passive voice. Ka bhi passive voice.
Tenet is essentially that, just
Are
in
you
a
saying
different
Tenet is
medium.
inspired by Yoda?
Maybe. I don't know. Nolan, how would I know Nolan's mind, how
First
it works?
conspiracy theory of this.
Of this.
Okay, so
first
now
part.
this is yeah. So if you've seen episode one, well, part one, you now know that this is part two because logic. In the first one, we went over the entire plot, which is 90 fucking minutes we took to go over the plot itself. Because it's extremely complex and whatever. And now we're gonna sit and sort of review the movie, give our thoughts and opinions, give our analysis of the movie, talk about its themes, talk about everything in a little more depth and with more spoilers. Non-spoiler review first part में ही है अगर देखना है. We just went 10 minutes over it, non-spoiler. This is spoiler. So spoiler alert, spoiler.
This is a double spoiler because, I mean, after the first 10 minutes of the previous video, we just recounted the whole movie beat by beat.
Yeah.
So we're just doubling down.
So yeah, spoiler warning again. Heavy spoiler warning. So let's just Sida get into it. What do you feel about the movie now that we have gone over its spoilers?
So I love movies which, like forget clean endings and all that, right? That's a different thing. I love movies which make me, get interested in something I never was, or never was really interested in. B, make me want to watch it again, obviously, for the obvious reasons. But C, really make me dig deep into the subject matter and all that, which really shakes you to the core. I need to know, I need to dive into the world of this movie, right?
Yeah.
So which is what some of Nolan's previous, Interstellar did it really well. Inception did it to a decent extent, in the sense that I really want to understand the subject matter. This one I think does it the best in that sense. Because
it is the most high concept of
it is the most high concept, one of the most, it ranks up there with Interstellar in terms of being rooted in science. The amount it's rooted in science.
If we're ranking his movies by complexity, this is number one easily.
Yes. Yeah, easily. Interstellar, it's easy to understand, compared to this, very easy to understand.
Yeah, it's a complex concept which is easy to understand. This is also, it's the concept is easy to understand. The implications, applications, consequences, causes, and then effects, or the other way around, are very complex. Sorry, carry on.
You're complex ka adjectives kitna banao main? But I mean, it is that way, right? So we kind of mentioned predestination in the first video, right? It reminds me of that, not just because it plays with time and it all ties back together very kind of neatly, but kind of very convoluted way, but also because it's that feeling of keeping you up at night, in the sense that it's constantly staying in your memory, it's constantly invading all your thoughts. No, I need to figure out what happened, why is it happening, why did this scene happen the way it did. And we're not even getting into the filmmaking part of it. We're just talking about the story itself, the story and the movie itself. Forget how they shot it and all that part, which is another thing.
Which is
both of us
fucking full mind fuck.
Yeah, which is another thing we are also very interested in, because we are film students, right? So that's also a thing that's always going in the back of our mind. As I'm watching that highway sequence, right, in my mind, so many things are going on. First, I'm trying to figure out, wait, so it happened a certain way the first time. The second time, it should happen the same way according to the laws of this movie. So that part is going on, which is figuring out the science. The second part is just invested in the story. कि shit क्या होगा, will something different happen or what? Like what will the hero do? The third part is ये shoot कैसे किया बच्चों तुम? ये मतलब कैसे? Like you're shooting in
legit.
you.
And knowing
Fuck.
Nolan, all of it, or at least 95% was in camera.
Yeah. Like I was just reading through the trivia sections and all that they closed off a whole fucking highway and all that shit. They shot it practically, like at least as much as humanly possible, practically.
Yeah.
Which is like, and it shows on camera because
It really shows.
it really shows. Like obviously there
Some
will
of those
be
things, like there are things you see and you're like, that cannot be real. That is special effects.
yeah, obviously.
Here it is inverted, where you're like, that cannot be special. That has to be real. The way it looks, it has to be real.
Yes. But like fuck. So let's start with the let's start with a little more superficial thing, not really but kinda, the IMAX experience. So how do you think the IMAX format really elevated the movie and why? And let's move beyond the bada screen hai
Because-
maza lagta hai. Let's move beyond that.
See, bada screen was up theek hai. What a lot of people don't focus on about IMAX is the sound.
Yes.
And when Nolan works with IMAX, it's just fucking magic because he puts so much visual quality in the movie.
Yes.
And it works in tandem with the amount of sound quality. I mean, yeah, we'll get to the dialogue and all, but these are things made for IMAX, which need to be experienced in the sort of fullest form possible.
And I should say,
and IMAX only IMAX can lend to that.
Yeah, and like let's say you're not like maybe you don't appreciate the sound part too much, or take it, that's fine, that can happen. But
That's fine.
There, if you are thinking ki fine, it's about the aspect ratio and all that, which it is partly, but and we know that the Blu-ray version of the movie will include the full frame, like the full frame sequences, even though technically speaking it's not exactly the same aspect ratio, it's still slightly cropped down, but still, let's fuck technicals right now. Even then, you're not getting the full experience on, even if you have say a 85-inch 4K TV or something, right?
Oh, not at
And
all, because none of this equipment for that is made to be projected projects picture and sound. It's not made to project IMAX formats.
Yes,
this movie is made to be watched in an IMAX format.
Yeah,
A lot of people say that about a lot of movies, but no, this Nolan is the only one who legit pushes IMAX to its boundaries. He's the only one who can fucking break IMAX cameras and get away with it in Hollywood right now. वो हर set पे एक तोड़ता ही है. At this point, even Warner Brothers and the people at IMAX are like, यार Nolan के लिए spare बनाना पड़ेगा.
Can you imagine if like Nolan just approached IMAX and like generally what happens? So, like you budget your like you plan your budget and everything, you talk with your DOP and all that, and then you approach the companies, right, to get the equipment. He goes to IMAX. IMAX is like, huh, bro, which camera do you want? And Nolan is like, so I fixed your camera and I'm returning it to you now. क्या? हाँ हो गया shooting.
And it's like a broken IMAX camera with 2 pieces of tape on it. Like the way Seth Rogen fixes the wall in This Is the End. Have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen.
He just puts tape on it. So yeah, coming back to the movie,
and he shot it on
approach this?
He shot it on 70mm film. So like obviously I didn't watch the film projected version. I watched the normal digital IMAX version. I think you also saw probably the same kind of format only. No, it wasn't laser, it wasn't film, it was just like the normal IMAX thing.
The theater I went to said IMAX with laser.
Theater to bola, but like was it that screen, the screen in which you saw?
I don't think it was.
उसके बाहर लिखा रहेगा like,
because I don't, it said IMAX with laser. That's all I remember.
IMAX
So
with
it may
laser
be,
is
but
slightly
basically,
different.
like, see, I can't tell the difference unless I'm told.
Huh.
Um,
Obviously.
but yeah. So anyway, coming back to the movie, it is.
Hmm.
I'm figuring out how the hell do we approach talking about this movie, because there is so much to talk about. Okay, let's talk about
Yeah.
one thing which we didn't really talk about in the first part was the thematic value of the movie.
Hmm.
Now, a movie like Inception and even Interstellar, even Prestige, these are all high concept movies, but they are very well balanced with character. I said this kind of in
Yes.
the first episode, but let's like go even more in depth with it.
Yeah.
The concept is in service to the character. The character can accomplish what they want by using this specific concept. This movie sort of is concept over character. There's not as great a balance. There definitely is character, and there are character motivations, and there are arcs, and there are needs and wants. But maybe it's just the concept itself, because the concept is so complex and in depth, and you have to follow every second of it to understand it and rewatch it also, that maybe it felt like if you add even more character to this, you won't be able to give as much time to a concept that in depth, which I
Like,
think Nolan kind of wanted to do, where because he has been thinking about this movie as long as he was thinking about Inception apparently. 5-10
yeah,
साल उसने सोचा है इसके बारे में.
yeah. And it's more of like, when I was watching the movie, I was obviously very exhilarated, like to go along for the ride. But most of that excitement, right? That mystery, that excitement, ki, shit, what's gonna happen next, was not coming because I cared about the characters really. It came because,
It's more because this is a cool concept and it has
yeah,
a lot of cool like moments and
it came
reveals,
more
and
from the technicalities. It came less
yeah,
from the character side.
which is not a bad thing, because it makes
Huh.
the movie enjoyable as
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. But
It is such a fun movie
like a good
to watch.
example, when the highway sequence, right? We have to come like keep, because that highway sequence really captures everything about the movie so well. So in the second half of the highway sequence, when John David Washington, the protagonist, reverts himself and he goes back to save Cat.
Cat.
Now, as an audience member, I don't really know Cat too much. Like, I know parts of her story, and she's a victim of abuse and all that stuff. But still, I don't care enough to be like, oh shit, हाँ उसको बचाओ. I'm more like, oh fuck, अब क्या होगा? I was more
Yeah.
in that side ki, okay, now they have inverted. What's gonna happen next? I was more in that zone rather than, fuck technicalities, you have to save her, like in the
Yeah.
character motivated part. Like
Yeah.
that's
And again, this may come off as we're sort of
yes,
criticizing the movie. We're not.
yeah, we're not.
We're this just an observation we're making, just
Hmm.
how we felt about it. Yeah, obviously, character is always better than concept. It's always more uh, intriguing than concept. It's always more like you get attached to the movie better.
Hmm.
But at the same time, this proves that what truly hooks an audience, is it the character's arc, or is it the situations that they're put in and
Yeah.
how they are going to find a way out of this.
Hmm.
um and Nolan really fucking understands that. He knows exactly okay, the main character doesn't have a name. He's called John David Washington, the protagonist.
And the first part is not real within the
That's
movie.
how legit.
Except in the credits.
That's how.
Except it's reverse in the credits. The protagonist, John David Washington.
So, that's what I'm saying. That's how sort of impersonal this movie is.
Wow.
Because the main character, okay, let's break down his character, right? He is a perfect human being. He can only be shot by bullets and killed that way, but otherwise, in terms of skill, he is just perfect. He is charming. He's one liners. He's athletic as fuck. he can fight like a bitch. चाहिए क्या और? Uh, but it's sort of his you can by stretch call it a need to sort of work towards the betterment of humanity. Because if you see, even in the opera siege, he they were like the bombs were going to kill all those innocent people.
Yeah,
And they're like that's not our mission, and he's like, it's mine now.
it's mine now.
He didn't have to, but that's a character setup moment,
Hmm.
which is the same thing he feels for Cat, which is why throughout the movie he's like, oh, I have to save Cat, and now I'm gonna invert to save Cat, and oh, my other motivations align up. Isn't that convenient? I get to
Mhm.
save Cat now. That's why he's so hell bent on getting Cat out of the situation, because he feels I should work for the betterment of humanity.
Yeah.
And that's there, but it's not like it's sort of sidey.
Hmm.
You know, it's just shown in moments where if you're not paying attention, you will miss it, and you'll just be like, okay, this guy just kind of has to go through this shit.
Yeah.
Now coming to, and that's kind of a perfect summary of what the thematic value of the movie is, in terms of it's just concept over character. That's the easiest way you can put it.
Hmm.
But the movie is not lacking in emotion because you have Elizabeth Debicki.
Yeah.
Now, what you're saying, that lack of care was there, I think that stemmed from the fact that John David Washington, the protagonist, also didn't care deeply. He did it more as a, I have to do this because I have to do this good for humanity, not because she means something to me. She's just
It was
a sort of person who's in this situation, and I kind of have to save her.
It was, as I think White Light puts it sometimes, an extrinsic motivation, not an intrinsic motivation.
True. He was doing it because he must.
Because it got her. Because he has to.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Because he has to. That's just who he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elizabeth Debicki was definitely the emotional core of this movie, because her whole situation led to the protagonist doing half the things that he does. And it is pretty nice, actually, her whole arc. She's been blackmailed by Sator, basically, to stay with him, because he makes a deal, I will leave you, but then you never get to see your son again.
Yeah.
And बाद
But
में reveal
also-
होता है that even for a second she considered it also. That also adds to her character very nicely. Ki, she is this sort of good person who's in this bad situation, but it's got so bad that she's considering leaving her only son, even if it was just for a second. It is a pivotal moment. Now, so all the thematic value comes from Sator and comes from Elizabeth Debicki, because even Sator, in his final conversation with John David Washington, the protagonist, is like, there's the conversation they're having about faith, and how he points out to the protagonist that you're working for people who you barely know towards a concept that you barely understand. You're saying I'm blind, your faith is equally blind.
Yeah.
Because things work the same in both directions in this movie. Which is cool, which is pretty cool. When the thematic value reflects the concept, that's pretty cool. Again, only Nolan. Kya genius banda yaar. So yeah,
biased fanboys will never criticize, dislike.
Yeah, and there were themes of sort of fear and anger and despair. They didn't add much to the overall concept. Also, they weren't much driving factors in the overall concept, whereas Inception is the perfect concept and character balance.
Yeah.
It really is, because he's completely motivated to use Inception to get what he wants. Here, they sort of are separate elements.
Yeah.
But they both have their importance.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Like in Inception, you still, like, even though all that, there is cool, like, dream sequences and all that shit, right? But at the end of it, it comes down to, what's it, Dom?
You do anything towards your family, basically, because even
and that relationship,
Cillian Murphy's thing was the
relationship between Dom and Mal that like was the crux of the movie, in the sense that that is kind of the backstory. It is what
Correct.
drives Leonardo's character to get back to his family. That's why he's doing everything in the movie,
It
because that's
is
his entire
his
goal.
one major flaw also as a character,
Yes, that is also his
because
major flaw.
he's very unstable. He shouldn't be doing Inception,
Yeah,
seeing
which
how
is
he's been emotionally compromised
yeah,
by Mal. So yeah, so it's not like Inception, because but then again we understand why he did it, because
yeah,
अगर character ज़्यादा डालते, he won't be able to explore this concept fully, which I just knew. उसे खुजली हो रही थी कि अब क्या मस्त concept है bro, मैं ये full extent में explore करने वाला है. Nobody else will be ever able to make this movie
yeah.
using this concept, because only I can do it, and I am genius, I am Nolan, I am awesome. So I understand, and it's not like the movie is bad because of it.
Yeah,
This
it's
movie
not.
is awesome. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Please watch this in IMAX, please. Yeah, so the
God.
only thematic value may it's a little lacking, just because characters may it's a little lacking, but still fun to watch. So I didn't mind it.
Yeah, obviously. It just like obviously, because we just watched it recently, like a few days back and all. So we're still very high on
I
it.
saw it today.
Yeah. So we're very high on it right now. But
Yeah,
but I think ultimately, like, this ranks up really high, really, really fucking high, especially everything technical, and the like in the technical department, it probably is, like, for me, like, his best probably. But
Hmm.
because of the character thing,
I can see that.
I am more tethered to the characters in Inception, or I am more tethered to Cooper and Murph's relationship in
Correct.
Interstellar. Oh,
Yeah.
like, that maybe is the small edge those movies have over this one, but then
Yeah,
again, it's a
which
very
also makes me think
yeah,
that I'm interested to see how this movie is gonna age because of
yeah,
that. Because once the entire concept is understood and chewed up by everybody, and all the theories are out, and everyone's like done with that, what will be the tether
yeah, because like it would be a
other than
shame.
fun summer blockbuster enjoyable movie, action
Yeah,
sci-fi?
like I don't want it to be remembered as we remember Speed, the Keanu Reeves movie. Like, you remember Speed because of the concept mostly. कि like, हाँ bro, गाड़ी जा रहा है
Yeah,
full speed में, बंदा मस्त save करता है. Right? That's
but
that's
Speed
the
was
first
awesome.
thing. But Speed was
Yeah.
awesome, obviously. But like, I don't want like it would be a little bit of a shame if Tenet is remembered only because bro क्या मस्त time loop movie
Which
बनाया था.
I have a feeling it's going to be.
Which is mostly what it will end up like that, which
See,
is
hi,
fine.
you and I are gonna remember it for all the other shit, obviously, but a general audience perception,
Yeah,
it may lean, which again, it's not gonna make it a bad movie at all
yeah,
by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so that is the thematic value which we didn't discuss in the first. Let's get the cinematography out of the way.
Oh boy, Hoyt Van Hoytema.
Cinematography is excellent. Moving on to sound.
Sound is deafening. Then क्या बचा?
Oh man. Okay, no.
हाँ, but
Okay,
yeah,
no,
sound.
let's like seriously do this. नहीं, पहले cinematography.
Both, yeah.
So the cinematography is just IMAX was made for Nolan.
I think, like, speaking in the truest sense of the word, like, cinematography is fine, but it's more about the way in which the sequence it's more about the action choreography. Let's just put it that way, or the stunt coordination.
That's where Nolan's direction truly shines.
Yeah, because
everything else is so amazing anyway, but the action choreography.
Yeah, like, purely as a cinematograph, as a like in terms of framing and all that, it's good. But like, when you see a frame from, say, Interstellar, right, when they land on Matt Damon's planet, and just the visuals on display there, like, this does not match that in that sense. It matches more in the sense ki, look what cool stuff is happening in camera.
I mean, that's yeah, but that's more because the settings were different. No, that was a
still,
fictional
like,
planet where they could do whatever they want.
That doesn't matter.
Dude,
no,
okay,
I'm talking about
like,
the objective cinematography. Like, it's like when you take a David Fincher movie, good example. Take a David Fincher movie and David Fincher cinematography, like the way he proposes shots, right? Uske movies may be nothing like explodey shit is happening in general, but those movies are really really well framed, and like there's a very big intent behind the framing. Action is another thing. Here the intent is focused more towards the action, not a bad thing or anything, not that it's shot badly. It's just
Yeah,
that your attention is more on the cool action, and obviously IMAX really expands that thing. Like IMAX ka whole thing is don't even don't even think that there is a frame, you are in the movie. That's the whole idea, right, of the IMAX thing. So in that sense, yeah, they
yeah.
did it phenomenally well.
And they do follow, all his scenes follow a certain type of camera movement,
Mhm.
which is always sweeping shots and establishing हो रहा है तो like helicopter से हो रहा है. um, and every time exposition is happening, the camera is either slowly zooming in or
Oh no,
slowly
this time
zooming
they did
out,
it up,
or it's
bro.
like
I remember, okay, there's this moment. एक तो there's the editing which is very breakneck. Like तेरा भैंचोद में cut is my only tool. cut. It's like that. ठीक है. Like literally certain scenes are shot like montages, but it's not a montage. Like you're
but it's
like
not.
yeah, like he's shooting the wall
we
and the
we will
scientist
we
is
will get to
behind,
the editing.
all that
Yeah.
shit. Even then, and Nolan has done this before. Take it in The Dark Knight. This reminded me of The Dark Knight. I'll see which scene. Dark Knight ka interrogation scene. Take it. Where and you might have seen some video essays on it when the camera is just moving in round circles, but in different takes and moving in different directions. When Batman and Joker are talking, and before that,
Yeah.
Gordon and Joker are talking. But there's a lot of key information happening within that scene. ठीक है. So it's kind of the first time you might miss it or you might not catch all of it. Same thing here with the first scene when the scientist is explaining what is reverse entropy, what is entropy, why is this bullet traveling backwards in time. The first time it's like he takes a moment, obviously that whole scene is kind of a breathing moment कि हाँ ठीक है explain करता हूँ, but even that moment is shot very like हाँ ब्रो तेरे दिमाग से उड़ने वाला है ब्रो ऐसे शूट करते हैं. Like there's a specific shot when she puts the bullets on the table and it's a stable shot, the camera isn't moving, and she says ki this is reverse entropy blah blah blah. So like she says ki one of them is reverse, one of them is normal, and John David Washington, the protagonist, asks ki like how, and the moment she starts saying the sentence one of the bullets entropy is reversed, like I'm paraphrasing, the moment she starts saying that, that camera starts moving very fast, like it's tracking her. So it's a jerk. It's a jerk in obviously like in a thought process ki oh fuck kya ho raha hai, and also visually speaking it's a jerk. So I wouldn't like I can totally see people not getting the core idea in the first glance at all. Like that sequence will be done and then you'll be thinking wait kya bola, acha ye bola. It can totally happen because it's intentionally filmed that way. Like he wants us to experience John David Washington, the protagonist perspective. Ki like, हाँ जो हो रहा है होने दो, but बाद में you watch it the second time, it's like you're inverted. The second time you're watching it, you're watching it from a different perspective. Like
Correct.
okay, सब कुछ समझ गया, now let me बैठ के मस्त I will understand what's happening.
Plus, I've noticed that his camera movements also, they really reflect the sort of tension level of the movie
Yes.
that each scene needs to have, because even in talking scenes, exposition scenes where people are walking on a street or something,
Yeah.
the camera is moving at a certain speed that is faster than previous exposition scenes.
Yes.
Like the exposition scene with Michael Caine and the
Yeah.
exposition scene
I
with
was
the
just gonna
scientist.
bring it up.
The camera is not as fast moving. It is sometimes sweeping here and there, sometimes handheld, sometimes zooming in or whatever. But it's very slow, and then it keeps increasing the speed as the tension level of the movie goes up.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, obviously. And I mean, did you really think this movie was not going to be well shot? It's Christopher Nolan doing IMAX, bro, with Hoyt van Hoytema.
Yes.
So yeah, the movie is amazingly shot. The we'll come to the direction. Right now, let's stick to cinematography. Uh, color grade of this movie. At
Hmm.
first, I was thinking it was kind of dull.
Hmm.
Um, but then I'm like, I kind of got used to it, and
Yeah.
it didn't seem like that big a problem.
So one moment I really noticed the color, because like it's not overly like, oh, like the grade isn't overly done. It's very real.
It's
It's
not a very vibrant
yeah.
movie.
It very much reflects the real world and
Yeah.
in the aesthetic that Nolan really likes, right? But the first moment, and like there are IMAX sequences before this, but the first real moment when it hits me that, oh fuck, yeah, IMAX hai ab, is when they revert themselves after the highway sequence. And John David Washington, the protagonist, walks out of the bunker. And
Hmm.
uh, this time I've noticed throughout the movie, in previous movies, as I said in the first part, there were a lot of scenes and sequences where the ratio would switch in the same seat, in the same scene, within the same, like two people are talking, even then the ratio is fucking up. This time, uh, the guard closes the door behind him. Take care, that female guard. She gives him the oxygen mask and all that. And then we switch to a POV shot for a second where the gates are opening. And when the gates are opening, that's when it switches to IMAX. And because it's
Yeah.
a flat wall, you don't phat se like soak in the entire frame. You're
Correct.
still focused on a certain part because it's a very dark wall. And when it opens up, it like it's what IMAX does in the when they play kind of a welcome to IMAX featurette where they show like a frame के
Where
through
it's
जा
like
रहा है.
normal ratio, and then it sort of extends.
Yeah. So it's kind of a similar thing, but done in camera, like in camera with a prop. The prop being either sweeping over a bridge or sweeping over
This
a gate.
conversion also happened in Mission Impossible Fallout. The
Acha.
two IMAX sequences, like when he's walking, when Tom Cruise is walking out of the plane,
Hmm.
when they're in the plane to normal ratio, and while he's walking out of the
Yeah,
plane, it
yeah,
sort of slowly becomes
yeah.
like that.
And because the
As
top and
he's
bottom of
jumping
the
out,
plane are blackened out,
are
it.
also coming like that. It's
Hmm.
like amazing.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's less randomly done.
yeah.
But again, that's just Nolan's evolution as a filmmaker, because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
started off
exactly.
with like, acha mere ko abhi different ratio try karna hai, and now he sort of mastered ki acha, this is the right point to switch to so and so ratio. Every time he has
And
an every fucking establishing shot is in IMAX ratio. Even if the very next shot is normal ratio, it has to be IMAX, and I love him for that.
so
Because
yeah,
अगर establishing shot कर रहे हो इतना visual glory में, do
huh,
it in IMAX. No,
do it.
you have the power to break cameras and get away with it. Please do
And
it.
and yeah, so that scene, right, when John David Washington, the protagonist, walks out of the bunker. He walks out of the bunker, and this is when the first time you really soak in a reversed world. But
What
like,
being inverse is like.
yeah, so like you see the foot getting on the puddle of water, and the puddle, like, what's the word? Unpuddling? I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Unsplashes.
Unsplashes. You see the geese flying backwards. You see the birds flying backwards. You see the ship going
Boats are
backwards.
going backwards.
Yeah,
The sort of
yeah,
fog or whatever is coming down
yeah.
and condensing instead of moving
That's
out.
the part where I really started noticing uh, like, it's not exactly the color. It's a mix of things. It's the obviously first thing ratio. Second, like we'll get a little technical, but then we're student filmmakers, have to come on,
हाँ,
you
वो
ain't
तो
getting this shit anywhere else. Okay, exclusivity thoda matter karta hai. So
yeah.
IMAX is not just about the aspect ratio. ठीक है. And the difference between watching a Blu-ray which includes the IMAX sequences and watching the IMAX movie in a theater is that in the theater, the change in resolution, pure resolution height, the pure expansion of the frame is noticeable. On the TV,
Is
it's just
noticeable
like, हाँ
also
ठीक है, अब
because
ऊपर
it's
और नीचे
being,
का दिख रहा है. On the theater, it's not
yeah,
that. On a
yeah,
theater, it's
because
like,
in the
okay,
theater it is being projected by an IMAX equipped projector.
yeah,
It is
and
a
it's,
specific projector for IMAX. Your TV is just a TV, bro.
yeah, it's not just that. Like, that's one reason, obviously, like because of the exact quality of the picture and the way all that shit, but I'm saying just the
Yeah.
way characters are framed. So in a IMAX frame, like right now, like if you're watching the video right now, you would call this a medium. ठीक है, my frame right now. In an IMAX, it's more of a wide. In an IMAX, a
Right.
close-up is a medium. Like in a traditional
Mm.
close-up in an IMAX is a medium. So inherently, all characters, all actions become, there's a larger than life feeling quality to it, right? So in that sequence, he's standing up, right? You've been watching that sequence in a normal this thing, like
Mm.
when they're invert. It opens up. You're soaking in the world with him. There's a whole small moment where he's also like taking a moment, taking a breather. You're starting to see all these objects and shit going backwards. It's in full ratio. And since you're watching on a fucking 80-foot wide screen, and it's framed in a certain manner so that every shot is more of a wide shot, right? Essentially,
Mm.
even the close-ups in the car are more of a wide shot. So the
Right.
characters feel physically bigger. So
Yeah, they
that
do.
impact you really can't, like, it's hard to explain, but you have to experience it in the theater. You really
You
can't
really do.
take it.
It like, dude, that's half the reason Kenneth Branagh was so menacing. Because when he has close-ups when he's about to beat
Yeah,
cat with a belt,
yeah,
and there's like this close-up Dutch angle of him,
yeah.
and you're like, don't hate me, please.
It's also a little bit of like when like after watching the movie, I started watching some of Nolan's like older interviews and all, because obviously, and like Christopher Nolan is a very big advocate of not just the theater going experience, but also shooting on film, preserving film,
Yeah.
physical
Him and
film.
Tarantino and
Yeah,
all of them.
and a
Yeah,
few others, but like these guys really, really love that format, and it's
they really do.
and
And
they've
I kind of agree
yeah,
to an
yeah, yeah.
extent.
Yeah, and I was watching an interview with what's the name of the Indian critic? The guy?
Anupama,
No, the guy.
Rajiv Masan.
Rajiv Masan. Yeah, it was an interview with him. It was Nolan and two other people. They had come to India for some kind of a
Training.
workshop thingy, like
Oh,
for teaching the importance of film and all. Take it wasn't
okay.
a film interview per se. This was right after Dunkirk, I think.
Acha.
So where uh, Rajiv Masan asked them directly, ki, okay, bro, why? What's the like? Why should people care? What's the difference? And where do you stand on the film versus debate ka thing, right? And like some people think that Nolan hates, like doesn't like digital, that's why he prefers film. That's not really the
No,
reason.
that's not
It's
it.
more like I prefer film. I just want it to be
Yeah.
a viable option and not gone from, like, not completely taken over by digital. That's his argument. He's not saying digital is
Yeah.
bad. He's not saying like digital shouldn't be there, film should be the only
Yeah,
medium.
it's not like a double negative. It's more like he just, yeah, you're right. He just
Yes, a double negative.
we are so clever. So yeah, and so many people, and I agree, dude. Like film just looks better. Lighting
Hmm.
looks so much better on film than it does in digital. If
Yeah,
you've seen Quiet Place, obviously.
yeah.
That was shot on film. Look at the fucking lighting in that movie.
A lot of movies like uh, there's like obviously just saying it's better is not really like that's
Yeah, I
very
mean you need to give
subjective.
reasons, but that's another, that's yeah, that there's a reason, it's a debate.
That's
Because
a
there are so
subjective
many
thing. Like, and it's
opinions.
very much into like that whole argument goes into a lot more human psychology, behavior, and how people
Yeah.
perceive images more than anything objective about the physical film or the digital pixels, really.
Yeah,
So,
it's not just the practicality. There is a
huh.
lot of like other factors. So anyway, coming back to the movie.
Hmm.
So yeah, the cinematography, the movie looks fucking amazing. Uh, Especially for an action movie, you don't get this kind of visual quality and visual spectacle in action movies usually.
Hmm.
There's a very like conventional way most action movies are shot, and most people just stick to that. Max and max, you'll get really stylized stuff like John Wick,
Hmm.
um, or like Kingsman maybe, uh, which is good. They should stylize it. I'm looking at you, Fast and Furious. fucking do
It's the
something
same reason
different,
why when
please.
you watch, say, an old western or something, no, where it's not shot stylistically or anything. It's like most of those action sequences were were just like wides. Like the camera
Right.
just steady. Some guy is jumping from one horse to another.
हाँ, मास्टर शॉट्स बहुत वाइड वाइड
Yeah,
ग्रैंड मास्टर शॉट्स बहुत
yeah.
यूज करते थे.
But the exhilaration
Um,
comes from the action itself. Ki, oh fuck! Look at the guy. Like in this movie, it's like the guy is jumping from this car to another car or something like that. Or obviously,
yeah,
it's a little more stylized in the action, not the camera wonky movements or anything like that. Like, oh fuck! You're watching a what do you call it? You're watching a car unflip itself.
right.
And it's shot in a certain way, obviously, so that, like, technically speaking, it's easy enough to do, right? You would think कि like ठीक है
Yeah,
तो
you
camera रख
just
दिया,
film it and you
reverse it.
in
But
post.
then you notice the camera movement. The camera movement is going from
You not just the camera movement. Other things in the frame are going forward.
obviously no. I'm saying, but the
So
camera movement is the one which sells the perspective more than anything else. Like other things,
exactly. If you remember,
hmm,
there's an establishing shot after protagonist has found out about the algorithm from Dimple Kapadia, and they're on the ship and
hmm,
they're figuring out the algorithm's gonna be activated when Sator dies and all.
huh.
The establishing shot of that,
Oh,
where
when
the
he's
ship
doing
is
the bar
going in
pull,
reverse,
yeah,
when
yeah,
he's doing the bar pull,
yeah.
I have to imagine that they shot that like moving
Yeah,
out.
yes,
And then they
exactly.
reversed it so it looks like it's moving in and it doesn't feel reversed. How the hell do you make it not feel reversed?
Exactly. That's
What
exactly
the
what I'm
fuck?
talking about. Like just the
It
camera
is
movement.
the craft behind the movie. So genius. So fucking genius. This movie is unique. Please watch this movie. Watch it in theaters. Watch it in IMAX. So yeah, the
Uh,
movie looks damn good. It's unique visually, obviously. Coming to the sound,
hmm,
this is where I have seen most people's one fucking complaint. Okay,
hmm,
starting with the positives. Score is amazing. I'm gonna talk more about the score and why it is so, and why at least why I think it is so.
hmm,
Um, Sound effects are sharp as shit. The main complaint people have is the dialogue sounds slightly muffled.
hmm.
Now that is just the tone and the vibe that Nolan has started to like, especially since Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
बेन का हुआ था ना, uh, I was nobody before the mask, whatever. That was the best
You
Bane
know what,
impression.
Bane?
Tom Hardy, fuck you.
You know what? Bane's impression is literally like every time someone does a Bane impression, I'm like, that was spot on.
That's yeah, because
It's like
it's
the
so
easiest
hard to like
impression.
fuck up. Yet somehow I just fucked it up.
No, you didn't. That was pretty good.
I mean, yeah,
All,
you just
all the
I'm
podcasts.
going to break your back now. You will have a TV here. You can watch whatever you want while you heal. And I am Tom Hardy and I am amazed.
See, guys, so podcast listeners, Tom Hardy actually just is a special guest on this episode. Video
oh yeah,
listeners,
that was Tom Hardy. You guys thought that was me? Holy shit, no.
no.
That we brought in Tom Hardy, bro. हमारा क्या budget है? Fucking amazing. We
Video
brought him.
viewers,
We pulled him from Venom 2. Video viewers, Tom Hardy is here with us in spirit.
yeah. I don't know ये Zoom का कुछ हो रहा है. I can't show him on the
हाँ,
thing.
Zoom का वो पता नहीं दिख नहीं रहा है. Though that I was just wiping my face. I don't know what. So anyway, so yeah, the main complaint people have is that the sound sounds a bit muffled, and basically Nolan has started to do this thing where the sound is buried beneath all the other layers.
Yeah.
Which in his other movies, I'm like fine. This movie, I would have said कि थोड़ा clear up कर दे, because this is a high concept movie. It is a complex movie, and everything that we have to know about the concept is going to come from what people are saying.
Hmm.
So not only have you made it challenging to understand the movie in the first place, you have made it physically challenging to listen so that you can understand.
Yes.
I got obviously used to it, and I had subtitles in both my viewings, so it was fine. But a lot of people, they don't prefer subtitles, and of course movies are made to be watched without subtitles. हम ऐसे चूतिए बैठे हुए भाई समझ नहीं आ रहा है. But yeah, so for the people who are watching it without subtitles, I get that complaint. I still understand it, and it is the one thing I come closest to being a critique of the movie.
Yeah.
I वो भी टेक्निकल है, कॉन्सेप्ट और स्टोरी में क्या परफेक्ट बनाया है ब्रो. But yeah, okay, now coming to the score. The score sounds very Zimmer. We discussed this in the first part. Ki this wasn't Zimmer, yet it sounds Zimmer. It's Ludwig van Göransson, and it sounds mechanical. Now, I think if you have closely listened to the score of the movie, there are a lot of scenes where some inverse shit is going on, and the score sounds reversed. If you notice carefully,
Yeah,
the
but
score sounds like it's
like,
playing backwards.
like obviously I'm not trained in music, so I don't know the exact terms, but uh like call it the tempo or whatever. Like I don't know the exact terms, right? But it feels designed in a way that even when it's reversed, right? That score is reversed, that specific track is
Exactly.
reversed, it's still following the same beats and the same timings. So
Correct.
that's why it feels.
See, that
yeah.
though it's going to anyway. But what I'm saying is it was mechanical for that reason.
Obviously.
Had it been very operatic,
Hmm.
operatic scores, you can tell that they have been reversed and it doesn't sound nearly as good.
Yeah.
These are high tempo beats, very bass heavy. And
Yeah.
because bass itself is so muffled, when you reverse it, it just sounds like bass. Unless you're listening very closely.
It sounds
I
like
think that was
bass reversed sounds like Saab, and the Saab is the car that the protagonist was driving when the car flipped. So you see, everything is connected in this universe.
For the listeners, I am face palming right now.
अब वो Nolan genius है, bro.
I'm not even mad. That was kind of impressive.
Yes.
So yeah, that's score was amazing. Please watch this in IMAX. This needs IMAX speakers, man. You're like fucking immersed. मतलब तेरे को चारों तरफ से sound आ रहा है बहनचोद, and you're just like, it is inescapable, but it's so good. You just want more of it. This is one of the few scores, one of the few scores that I don't mind listening to, and I have already twice from back to forth. See what I did there? and of course there's a Travis Scott song in there also, because Nolan is like, I am cool kids, here I am.
To Travis Scott, like, small side note, but that motherfucker has had such a crazy year.
Oh my
he's
God,
winning
he's
so
just
hard
on the top of everything.
Fuck, he did a Nolan movie ka, like he contributed to it. He was in fucking Fortnite. He is now partnered with PlayStation, and he did that thing with McDonald's also, no, earlier in the year.
He did the thing with McDonald's. He's been in games. He's been in he's been in like high class concerts. He's been
also,
in Kylie Jenner.
Fortnite thing is also another thing he shares with Tenet. Because guess what? Nolan ka movies were also streamed on Fortnite.
On Fortnite, yeah. Nolan is just like, hey, hello, cool kids.
Can you imagine? Like,
cool as well.
I'm 99.99% sure when they decided ki let's show Nolan ka previous movies on Fortnite, it was more Nolan's agents and Nolan's like, not agents, but like those like bro,
his
bro,
PR agents,
bro,
and they're
trust
like,
me, ये अच्छा रहेगा अपना brand के लिए. Nolan's like, what the fuck is
Nolan
wrong
is
with
like, fine, just do it, whatever.
Watching my movie in a digital medium while kids are dancing is the exact opposite of everything I am doing in my life. Okay, it's the exact opposite of my ideology.
Yeah, listen, I can't fucking... Yeah, I'm just making jokes about Nolan trying to be cool and shit, but like, there's no way Nolan went, hey guys, Fortnite. No way that happened.
Oh wait,
but yeah, anyway,
we were talking about The Boys in the first episode, right? In the first episode of the podcast. Imagining Nolan in a press interview when asked, how do you feel about showing your movies in Fortnite? And when he's saying it's an incredible platform for today's people, it's like Anthony Starr in the final scene of Boys.
In the final.
Yes. What's the name of that villain? Jo bandi thi?
Stormfront.
Stormfront was the enemy of the state, and we found out she was a betraying.
We had no idea she was who she said she was.
Like just Nolan getting red faced. Yes, Fortnite is a very amazing platform.
What a fantastic medium to watch all the movies I have made throughout my life, all the hard work I have done in my life.
All the IMAX people for camera chupa. He'll make a he'll make a vlog on IMAX camera just to get rid of his frustration.
Look on IMAX camera. And then he'll break the camera.
Hey guys, smash the projector button. And I'll see you guys on the next film screening.
That is the only time Nolan in his entire life will say the word mother chod. He is bitching to Dimple Kapadia. क्या चूतिया रहा ये लोग साले फोर्टनाइट पे मेरा मूवी स्ट्रीम कर रहा है. खंकी माकी क्या समझ के रखा हुआ है. मैं इधर IMAX में शूट कर रहा है, इन लोगों को फोर्टनाइट चाहिए. बट उसमें भी सिल्वर लाइनिंग्स. He found Travis Scott through Fortnite, probably. Oh man.
This was too good. I don't even
I
care
know.
if this was a sidetrack. This is gonna be the best moment.
This is please, definitely. Oh my god. So yeah,
Fuck.
excellent cinematography, amazing sound, has its flaws but fine, still enjoyable. Now coming to the editing,
Yeah.
it's good.
I mean, you can definitely tell things were cut while you were watching
Yeah,
them.
but here's the thing. Have you seen Nolan's editing style? He
I-
loves doing that shit. He
Yeah, he
loves
loves-
doing that.
Yeah.
Where he loves cutting in mid-action. He loves cutting. He loves keeping really close cuts, not
Yeah.
exactly fast cuts,
Yeah.
but the cuts are very closely placed to each other.
Mm-hmm. Where you
And
haven't
जो भी-
moved
जो
much
भी-
in time. Like you're cutting maybe say of an action happening, you're cutting 3 seconds of that action within that shot.
Exactly, you're cutting a little bit, and even if you see the very short shots which are
Mm.
in there, he's picked the exact right moments to show off it. It's not because usually when you see fast cuts, a lot of it seems sloppy because they don't choose the right part to put in it.
Hmm.
This feels sharp and thought out. He's like, okay, if I have to make fast cuts, I will pick the exact right moments to put. And that's what makes it feel thought out. That's what makes it feel ki this was
That's why-
planned.
It's like it's very much the idea of the montage, but not applied across a larger span of time, applied across smaller spans of time. Like within
Yeah, it's the same style of a montage,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not to achieve what a montage does. It's
Exactly.
more because Nolan and intercutting is like Nolan and IMAX. They're like inseparable hai. And any movie you see of his is going to be some fucking intercut sequence.
Yeah.
And this is where I was talking about the ratio, because today when I saw the movie, I actually noticed the ratio. First time I was like, IMAX, amaze, wow. This time I actually noticed the ratio, and it's like when in the final scene where it's being intercut between Serbia and the yacht.
Hmm.
The yacht is entirely shot in 2.35 normal ratio, and then the Serbia thing is entirely shot in IMAX.
Hmm.
And that is being intercut, and that's where the ratio changes are coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, the editing is just on point. I will say Dunkirk was better edited.
Mhm.
It's definitely not his best edited movie also. I think Dunkirk, Inception and Dark Knight are even Prestige,
Is
even
it by the
Memento.
same editors though? I'm checking it right now.
हाँ देख लिया. I'm not. No. I remember someone told me he got a new editor
It's
for
a
this.
different person because this Tenet
She
is edited
apparently
by
did-
Jennifer Lim. Wait,
Yeah.
I have to read it again. Jennifer Lim. She did. It's a she, right? Because it's 2020. Huh. No joke. Yeah, she did Tenet.
Yeah.
She did Marriage Story. Wow. She did Midsommar.
Oh boy, she's a good editor.
She did
Holy
Midsommar,
shit.
Marriage Story, Hereditary, and the other ones I think we wouldn't have heard about. But yeah, these are okay. That's pretty impressive.
Damn.
Hmm.
Very good track record. So yeah, the editing is also really on point. All the filmmaking is really on point, dude. And okay, coming now to the most important aspect of it, his fucking direction. Bhai, matlab, he already was a god.
I'm thinking the one scene which I have given the most importance, most thought about, is the highway sequence ka second part when you're
He's
trying to
inverted.
follow where was the that part of the algorithm thrown off
Hmm.
and where did it emerge, right? So I was reading up so much about it. So here's the thing, and this will link back to direction wala thing because like he also conceived the story obviously, so there's that.
Hmm.
What happens is, from forward protagonist perspective, he throws an empty case to Sator, to reverse Sator. Then he throws the cube into the into
Reverse
reverse
protagonist.
protagonist's car. ठीक है.
Hmm.
In the reverse timeline, like in the second half, we see that we see it rattling inside his car for a while. Then it goes back to the forward protagonist's hand because everything is working in reverse from his perspective. So you would think that it was in the car all that time since the moment he came out of the bunker and went into the car. But there's a moment when he gets into the car, he checks for it and it's not there. So there's there's really one outcome. Reddit बहुत पढ़ा है. Fucking बहुत
दिख
पढ़ा है
रहा
मैं
है.
ये Reddit fucking. The when did Sator get his hands on the cube, right? Because like after that entire sequence is like Robert Pattinson is like, you gave him the cube, what's happened. Like there was no way you could have retrieved it, and he's like, okay, I see it now. But as an audience, बहनचोद कब? ठीक है. What happened was, this whole sequence happens, the car flips, Sator like puts the car on fire and he leaves, right? At a certain point, Sator had gone back to the port, to the free port where the bunker is. He would have gotten the cube before the protagonist ever got into the car. ठीक है.
Ah.
But
Yeah,
since
because the
we are,
car would have been there the entire time.
yeah,
Ob-
but since we are watching in a different order, because like the Sator goes into the past first, and then this
Yeah.
guy goes back and inverts himself.
Right.
It's the same thing, right? Which the movie said. The cause happens before the effect. That's what's happening. Like because if Sator had
You
gotten,
mean it the other way around?
no, the cause happens before the effect in the inverted world. Because in the forward, yeah, I'm saying it correctly, right? So when he gets into the car, he checks for the cube. It's not there. It's not there
Right.
because Sator has already stolen it. Sator has not stolen it right when Sator would have inverted himself the first time and came out of the bunker. Sator does the entire chase sequence. गाड़ी पलटता है, फोड़ता है गाड़ी को. He returns back to the free port and he finds the car there already. And that's when he swaps the cube. So it's a time loop, right? So
Yeah, of course.
in terms, now watch it from the cube's perspective. Take it from the cube or whatever you want to call it. This is called the cube. From the cube's perspective, the furthest the cube goes into the future in the normal timeline is when it's thrown into the car. The moment it's thrown into the car, it has entered the time loop. Its entropy has reversed. So the
Correct.
cube is also आया, car में flip हुआ, gone back in time. But there is an off-screen moment where Sator gets the cube. It's not shown in the film, and it's left intentionally ambiguous. Because like this is also me थोड़ा बहुत conjecture करके बोल रहा है कि he must have gotten it at this particular section.
Obviously, yeah.
That is so well hidden and it's so well supported by the entire concept of the movie So as a filmmaker, when you're thinking कि मेरा megafin है, मैं किधर फेंका, my villain gets it. But like, how do I logically explain when he gets it? So he looks at the concept itself. You know what? I don't need to explain it when he gets it. The concept itself is like the effect comes before the cause. So like, मैं और क्यों अपना माथा फोड़ू for another scene to explain what happens? To
Right.
enter another time loop. I don't need to. That's
Yeah,
the genius of that scene.
does make sense. Yeah, that obviously makes sense. Plot
ऐसे
holes.
अंदर you're like, Dawson क्या बोल रहा है भाई? Nothing makes sense in this world.
No. Nothing makes sense in this entire movie also. वैसे भी तो
Yes.
देखे. How can an object's entropy be reversed, bro?
Hey, science disagrees, okay? Shut the fuck up. H.C. Verma, Thermodynamics, class 12. Shut the fuck up. For legit, Nolan's last few movies have gotten me interested in class 12 ka science way more than it should have. Interstellar got me interested in
Way
relativity
more than
wala
class
chapter.
12 did.
Yes. Interstellar got me interested in relativity, which is the last chapter in the
Relativity and
book.
all, yeah.
I remember that very vividly. I was very intrigued by it when I was in 12th, but obviously like कि कब काम आएगा क्यों? It was like that. This one gets me interested in thermodynamics. Ask any CBSE
Yeah.
student, thermodynamics is a bullshit, boring, like क्यों पढ़ रहा हूँ? चीज गर्म हो रहा है, मैं क्या करूँ जान के? It's like that. That's thermodynamics. अब next movie क्या करेगा वो? F is equal to ma. मैं समझाएगा तेरे को क्यों होता है.
Yeah, I did arts in 12th.
You fucking hell. You know the whole Nolan wala, the fucking Newton wala thing, no? That apple fell on his head, gravity समझ में आया उसको.
हाँ.
ये next movie वही कुछ करेगा घुमा के. It will make you feel like, bro, तू 10th का बुक पकड़, वापस से वो चैप्टर पढ़, तेरा दिमाग फोड़ेगा मैं.
He's gonna do something with gravity being reversed now,
हाँ.
but it's reversed under the planet. Like in the core, like the crust, it'll be revealed. Oh my god, this is genius. It'll be revealed that the core of the planet is not the gravitational center of the planet, it is the crust of the planet. So all the beings which are living inside the planet, and this will be inspired by Jules Verne Journey to the Center of the Earth, all the beings living in the core of the planet are also walking on the crust. But on the inside of the crust, on the inside of the crust.
So maybe.
And now there is a weapon being developed inside which will affect the outside. And उसमें कौन होगा? Jacob Tremblay, the protagonist, has to go to the center of the earth and find out what is happening and disable the weapon.
So the real core.
Hey Nolan, you're welcome.
So the real core of the movie was the friends we made all along. Listen, you know what? Maybe Nolan is watching this, and in the future, like he has orchestrated everything from the future so that we would arrive at this moment, which gives him the idea for his next movie, which leads him into becoming the mastermind at the end.
Oh my fucking god. That kind of makes sense, bro.
That is exactly the plot of Tenet.
That is exact plot of Tenet, and it's like, "Arey bro, documentary hai." Oh man, we got very detracted.
But it's a fun kind of detracted.
So it is because there's so much shit to discuss in this movie. You're gonna go off on tangents. But coming back, we will have to keep forcing ourselves to come back every time. So coming back
exactly
to this,
like the protagonist who has to come back to different situations every time.
Oh my god.
Okay, we did cinematography, sound, editing.
We did cinematography down.
We're in direction, basically.
Editing. We're on direction, yeah. So we were talking about the direction in terms of action choreography. क्या बोले? It's genius. seriously, because how do you conceive an action scene which works in both directions? Someone has to be hitting the other and the other person is countering. It cannot physically work in both ways, and he makes it work. Fuck this guy.
I love what okay, so like the first time they encounter inverted guys, right, in the
Hmm.
Oslo sequence. The first time you see it, the inverted antagonist gets away because the plane ka propeller pulls him in, right?
Yeah.
That's how you
And
see
when
it. The next
yeah,
time you
and
see
then
it, since like air is going the opposite way, right? The
he's sort
physical,
of sucked in
he's pushed. He's
to
pushed
the
into the room. The first
halfway
time
into
he's
the
pulled
room.
in. The second time he's pushed because the elements
Yeah.
of nature are working the opposite way. I'm like, "Pahanchot."
Why are you such a genius, Nolan?
Can you think how odd is it? Second time I was watching it, it felt very funny sequence where uh, so Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, ठीक है, they're waiting, right? So that this guy will clear up all the things and tell them signal कि तुम भी reverse हो जाओ.
Hmm.
Robert Pattinson and so this is the main gate, ठीक है, they have arrived. John David Washington like ठीक है तू इधर रुक मैं जा रहा है. He goes in, reverses himself. He comes out, ठीक है, he comes out and tells them bro अंदर जा, and he fucks off to the van. But then the next shot you see is from Robert Pattinson's perspective. He's seeing a guy
And he's
running
going in.
all the way from the tarmac into the room. And
Yeah.
इसका क्या वाइट फक हो रहा होगा? Like तेरा दोस्त रूम के अंदर गया, हाँ अंदर गया. No wait, मैं बाहर
See,
देख रहा है,
we
कहाँ से
know,
आएगा?
yeah, see, we know that he knows what to do, because at this point Robert Pattinson knows क्या क्या होने वाला है, because he's been trained by future protagonists.
Yes.
But putting ourselves in that situation, it'd be like, which one of you?
तू तो अभी अंदर गया. तू वापस tarmac से क्यों आ रहा है?
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
Because it's not just a cool concept. He's fucking explored everything that can happen with this concept.
I liked the part when Ives tells them ki one of the basic rules of entering a turnstile is that if you don't like on the
If you
opposite
don't see
side,
yourself coming out,
then don't
if
go.
you don't see yourself going,
coming out,
if
then
you
don't go
see
in.
yourself, no. If you don't see yourself going in, because उनके लिए तो reverse होगा ना. So if you don't see yourself going in,
going
then
in.
you also don't go in.
Yeah. Like what
Yeah.
happens if I don't? Bye bye.
Bye.
Then you never went in, you bitch. Okay,
Exactly.
but what if I never went in? Like, don't you want to go in? Yes, I do. तो घुस ना अंदर. I love what he's done with the motivations of characters where they all line up so well that things have to happen in that order.
Yeah, because you honestly saying that it was meant to be is kind of a lazy thing.
Yeah.
But in the moment, or the way the motivations line up, you're like, yeah, this had to go this way.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we're gonna keep coming back to this. Nolan is a fucking genius. There's a reason he's one of the best filmmakers today. Sala original movies bana raha hai, high budget pe. He's the only filmmaker that can't be fucked with today.
I do hope though
in the mainstream, and
I do hope in light of recent events that he gets to keep doing that, because now two things will happen, right? Because of the Warner Brothers decision to put movies on HBO Max and theaters same day.
Yeah.
And half of Hollywood, more than half of Hollywood hates Warner Brothers right now.
Totally.
So, like, it was because of Warner Brothers. Like, Nolan has given Warner Brothers so many hits, right? So many like instant classics and hits. That's one of the. That's the reason why, like, when he would have pitched to Warner Brothers कि bro मैं ऐसा time travel movie बना रहा, तेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा, पैसा दे. And Warner Brothers, हाँ cool, take it. How much? 200 million, cool, take it. But if his relationship with Warner is now sour, And if he's trying to look at any other studios, right, for whatever his next project may be, two things will happen. Either he will want another like large movie, but for that funding he'll need to go to someone big, like who are the big studios? Disney and
20th
Warner's are
century,
two.
Universal,
20th century is Disney.
Universal,
Universal, okay.
Paramount.
Yeah. So like, but then yeah, like वही है कि your options are kind of getting limited very much. So
That's
and
true, but my thing is also कि ठीक है, yeah, he has a relationship with WB, but knowing WB, I don't think they grant him money because of their relationship. You're like, अरे अच्छा बंदा है, इसको पैसा दो. I think
no,
they do
I'm
it,
not saying
and this is the
personal
working
relationship.
of any studio.
I'm saying both personal and financial relationship that they have. They know
मतलब
that
मैं वही financially
इसका
की बात
आएगा
कर रहा हूँ
return.
कि exactly, and that is what any studio when dude. How many of his movies have crossed 1 billion? He's made 10 movies, 3 of which I think have crossed 1 billion.
I guess yeah. देखना पड़ेगा वो बात.
And all his movies have made their budget back. And how? ये pandemic में भैंचोद is breaking even.
Barely. But it is.
In a pandemic. Consider that it's a pandemic and barely anyone is going to watch movies. It's broken even. A 200 million movie with even more on marketing has broken even during a pandemic. That's big. And only Nolan can do that. So these studios know कि if we get, dude, if I was working at Paramount and I'm seeing what Nolan is doing for WB and Nolan says, Acha, hey, guy, can I come work with you? He's like, 400 million, take. 1 billion budget, you take. I would welcome him with open arms, and I think any studio would do that. Yeah, seeing the amount of return they would get, it is, you don't even have to think twice about it. It's Nolan.
You would, because of the whole pandemic thing. You can't suddenly sanction high budget projects.
I'm saying outside of pandemic.
But that's the thing, no. Right now, abhi tera agla 2 saal, like this whole pandemic thing has thrown every studio's plans for the next 2 years. Easy.
हाँ.
अगले 2 साल के लिए too easy तुम्हारा, like everyone's trying to recoup their losses. Like theater business are fucked anyway. But like studios also, they're going to cut down on budgets very much. Like even if they give a big budget to the bigger movies, they'll be cutting down on smaller movies even more. Even more than before. Like ठीक है, तेरे को मैं 200 million दे दूंगा.
Serious hit to like indie movies.
Yeah, like I'll give you 200 million, but that $10 million movie is now a $5 million movie. That's possible.
True. No, that
So
seems very likely.
shitty,
Knowing studios, that seems very likely.
Really shitty thing one of us pulled. Like we made kind of fun at the first couple of days, but then when we saw the repercussions that like fucking abhi DGA just wrote a letter to Warner's. The entire DJ wrote a letter to Warner's कि भैंचोद क्या कर रहे हो?
Everyone, I have not seen a single person in support of this decision. Even like regular people are like, why, bro?
Yeah. So like, case in point being, either Nolan, like obviously he'll have to like either he'll look at other ways if it doesn't fix like if this doesn't get resolved soon, like other studios, other financial ventures, or he'll have to reconsider and lower his budget.
But yeah, and that's fine, dude. I think Nolan of all people can achieve it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it feels like he does these big budget movies because he can.
Yeah.
And if you see, he has shown in the past, ki, dude, I can make a small budget movie and still make it fucking fantastic.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like
वो कर
that
लेगा.
would be fine.
He'll make a whodunit.
Yeah. He'll do that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a thing that is important to note. That people are overlooking.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but he also has so much money at this point, no? वो खुद finance कर लेगा. He'll be like, oh, I am worth $4 billion. 200 million is nothing, bro. I'll just make it on my own. 200 million indie movie.
As you say this, उसका चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बहन चो तू आर्ट्स लिया था ना भूसड़ी के आर्ट्स लूट चुप.
Yeah. But anyway, coming back to Tenet, is there anything left to discuss? It's just like,
No,
I
no.
mean, yeah,
Mostly
even
we've discussed most of the
the
things.
structure reflects the concept. That's like a
Hmm.
pretty like prevalent thing everyone has said.
Do you think?
Um,
Okay, forget like should it happen? Let's say they're like, bro, Tenet 2 बना रहे हैं अपन लोग, ठीक है? Do you think there is story potential for a Tenet 2, and what would you like to see? Because I think there is some potential. I don't want a second movie, but like if they do.
because the only thing that was close to being lacking in this movie was the lack of character.
Hmm.
If they, because अभी the concept setup हो गया है, beautifully set up किया है इन लोग ने. They've gone over all the details, they've gone over all the plot holes, they've gone over how it can be resolved, everything. Now if they just want to take this concept and without sitting and answering questions, make another movie,
Hmm.
the story will have to be extremely character driven
Yes.
to justify a sequel in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you can't make an Inception 2 Inception is perfect, you can't make an Interstellar 2 Interstellar is perfect, and even the way it wrapped up science wise, you can't make an Interstellar 2. It just wouldn't make sense.
Here's the thing, science wise, this movie demands a sequel.
This does demand a sequel,
because
and then pata chala
which ends like
pata
the
chalega
ending of the
this will become a franchise. This will become a franchise of like 10 movies, 5 of which will be forward, 5 of which will be reverse. And it
Exactly.
turns out that they're all the same movie, just one, some forward, some reverse, and it'll be like 10 movies. It'll be 10-8.
Watch out, HBO Max.
Yeah.
Oh god, Nolan is like, you were supposed to destroy the cinematic universe, not John.
No, that's what Emma Thomas is saying, and Nolan is like, bitch, I am Nolan. I can do whatever I want. Who are you to stop me?
God damn.
But I love how Nolan is like, just, I love that moment where he tells the audience, listen, you guys are stupid. I am not. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to be like, ye plot hole. Just watch it and shut the fuck up. Which is exactly what we haven't done for the past 3 hours.
But then we did establish that this is all meant to be.
Exactly. So our entire conversations have been redundant.
every shitty thing we came up in this whole 2 videos, Nolan, write that down. Or erase it.
Yeah, my future self can't find this.
I have see end of the day, what really matters? Does the movie really make up for great memes? Yes, it does. That's what matters at the end of the day,
Yes,
right?
it does. Fuck.
At the start of the morning, what matters?
I can only imagine, dude. Like, had the pandemic not happened and had it come out during the summer and everyone's like hyped about it, kitne meme.
Oh god.
Kitne meme. All the Drake panels would be reversed and all memes would be like mirror image of one another, and holy shit, amazed at it. Also just fun trivia fact. Do you remember the waiter when he goes to meet Michael Caine? Or the maitre d' or whatever?
Yeah.
Guess who he is?
Like the actor? I don't remember. Like, didn't recognize him.
The main guy in Following.
Oh, huh.
Go back and look at him.
Yeah,
that is him.
Yeah. The hairstyle is a big giveaway. Like, it's a little different there, obviously, but still.
Obviously, it's different, and also because it's been 20 years since that movie was made. But yeah, cool.
I love this one.
Callback कर रहा है, इसमें भी past में जा रहा है.
I love this one meme. That's so like right now we know that PlayStation 5 hasn't released in India, right? And so like Sony has been very tight-lipped कि India में कब आएगा. It has released basically everywhere else except India and a couple of other countries. So
Right.
there's an account in Twitter, ठीक है, which is called Is PS5 Out India? ठीक है. All that account does is like today is December 12th, 9:43 a.m. PS5 is not yet out. Basically, ठीक है.
There's a similar account on Michael Jackson's health updates. वो आज तक चल रहा है and every day it just up. हाँ, today is 12 December. He's still dead.
Wait, I'm sending you this thing. Okay, just अभी देख Twitter पे. Like, I'll explain it to the audience, but just
Okay.
Twitter पे I just sent it to you. Just watch
Okay.
it. Just watch it. Just watch it. Then I'll explain.
You sent it on Twitter.
No, on WhatsApp. I'll send it on Twitter actually. You know, that's easier. Oh, you
WhatsApp पे
can't
मिला
send
नहीं
it. It's a personal account. हाँ, वो internet बाबू.
Screenshot लेने.
हरामी internet. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
हाँ, देख.
It's a cannot retrieve tweet at this time.
Oh, it's a private account. That's why.
Are you fucking kidding? Who makes a private account for
Arey.
this?
Oh, wait. Fuck.
Now, okay.
I
For the
have to.
listeners, he's taking a physical picture of his screen and sending it to me now.
I have to do this. Okay, this is just too good. It's too good of a meme.
It's okay.
Just watch it
Okay.
react and then we'll explain. उसके नीचे वाला पढ़. The 2-second tweet.
The second one.
Our PS5 stock. उसके नीचे ही है, मतलब उस फोटो में एंड.
Oh
So it's a
God.
photo of so the caption reads current official Sony statement, ठीक है, in reference to PS5 India. The screen grab is of Aaron Taylor Johnson before the climax. Don't get on the chopper if you can't stop thinking in linear terms. And the next tweet is our PS5 stock has already been manufactured in the future. They're just inverse units streaming back at us.
I like how we've got to the point in this podcast where we have to narrate memes to our audience.
I
just
replied-
for the sake of content.
I replied back to that tweet. The caption is Sony months from now when asked, so when did you guys decide about PS5 India release date? The gif is it hasn't happened yet.
or it could be like people going to PS5, hey, why not launch in India? What the fuck were you guys thinking when marketing this? And they're like, what's happened. Oh man. So yeah, I guess in conclusion, or is there anything else left to discuss?
No, bro, this one, just guess, without looking at the clock, just guess how long we've been recording this episode, the second episode.
An hour maybe?
Try 1 hour 23 minutes.
Motherfucker, where does the time go?
It's 5:10 a.m.
Man, John, it's so for people who may be listening to only this episode, 3 a.m. is more of a spiritual thing. We don't actually sit कि oh bro 3 a.m. हो गए अभी चल record करते हैं. It's more the fact, and haha, we said this at the beginning of the episode and we're saying it now. कि 3 a.m. is more of a spiritual thing. We're like half asleep, yet we want to just talk about this because we don't want to sleep and we're bored. We're just gonna talk about this and just put it up as it is. So yeah, don't like criticize us or sue us. Someone, oh, they said 3 a.m. but they were not 3 a.m. Fuck you.
No, like, so guys, thank you for tuning in, listening to the thing and watching it. I'm gonna leave you with some. I'm gonna leave you with some food for thought. So let's say that an uninverted person and an inverted person wanted to have sex. How would this go down?
Dude,
If you have an answer, put it in the comment section.
listen. The way that would work is, see, you thrust, right? A thrust back and a thrust forth. And if you do it constantly, reversed also, it'll be the same only, no?
It would be coming and going. Another reply, the best one. Yes,
I can't think of a better way to fucking end this shit.
the better way is you're still not getting any.
Fuck.
I think that's a perfect perfect point to end this on.
That is the perfect end, I swear. Also, just a small disclaimer, because we're discussing Tenet, our disclaimer comes at the end. Sorry if this seemed like really scattered and unorganized, but that's just who we are as people. Second, we're discussing Tenet, which has too much to discuss, and we couldn't follow like a format. See, we don't give a fuck about being professional. Clearly, if you see us and hear us, and see our amazing overlay.
Yes.
So yeah, I started off with sorry, but it's ending with a fuck you.
So yeah, thank you for watching both parts, hopefully. And I think the second part I really enjoyed even much more, because like we just got all the nitty
Yeah,
gritties out of the way.
we weren't bound by acha plot hi karna hai.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. Wait, you know what? I'm just gonna see how many listens we've had on our podcast.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's get disappointed together.
While recording an episode, he's checking the statistics of the episode. This is called high concept.
Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for listening to it.
Clearly, it's not a very high number.
I mean, I'll tell you this.
Is it in the double digits?
No, obviously not. Double digits.
Wow.
Too much. It's like the movie Tenet. It goes up and down and it's just one line going up and down. So
yeah, well, for each person who listens, another unlistens. I think it's time to end this. Yaar, zyada ho raha hai. It's fucking 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess
no. This time I want you to do the YouTube whoring and all that. Take that.
I am not doing that shit. I'm never doing that shit.
I do it in the spirit of
I don't
the fun,
care.
Not.
Where is the fun in that? You tell me.
The fun is, see, I'm enjoying this conversation, but then if the two people who are listening to it are just us.
Yeah, it makes no sense to do it in the first place.
Then why go?
We have 2 listeners, they are us. Then our future selves. Hey, our future selves. I'm not doing that shit. I don't care. I'm not doing that shit.
Either like you have to enter endgame logic, the alternate universe version from the future, like अगर थोड़ा शील कर लेता ना, अगर थोड़ा plug कर लेता ना, क्या पैसा कमा रहा होता है?
Yeah, because me doing one plug on one video is gonna make all the difference. That's why we're not getting too many listeners now, right?
So yes, yeah. This is final one. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you did watch, if you did listen, thank you. कुछ लिख दो यार.
Thank you for making it this far. Seriously, that's amazing. On you have an incredible amount of patience.
उधर एक comment है का, bro, ये YouTube skimming is a great feature. Thank you for making it this far. Is the first thing the guy listens.
9 years from now, someone will comment, why is this getting recommended on my homepage now?
Chalo. Thank you guys, and we'll see you, and we'll see you in the next one. When, any idea when the next one will be? I don't know. 2 mahina baad.
I don't know.
Who cares?
2 mahina?
हैक देना क्या है, ऑलवेज अंडर प्रॉमिस ओवर डिलीवर.
So we're taking like a 5-year hiatus, guys.
I said under
We'll see
promise,
when,
don't
whenever
negative
we come.
promise.
But reverse में करना चाहिए ना bro हमें. Okay, final one. We're going now. Bye.
Bye.